Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Duda Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by Fuck Those Guys. It's not brought to you by anyone. If you want to sponsor us, 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and Still Got Game, episode 366. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Duda Rock Albert.
And joining us later from the news desk will be Tiffany Electrify Nolan, and Hitman will be joining us in the after show and maybe some random times during the show. Who knows? He's a surprise. But we are back after almost a month off due to holidays and dropping kids off at college and vacations and work stuff and you name it. But we are back, and we are hopefully back for good.
I forgot we were even doing a show. Like, I had got to the point where my life felt so freeing on Mondays that I was like, oh, yeah. What did I used to do on these Mondays that took up so much time?
No, I started watching American Ninja Warrior live on Monday nights, and yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, isn't it?
You have some free time, but now we don't.
Suffer for everyone else.
Yeah, we suffer for you. We carry your sins on our shoulders. We do it for you. Something like that. I tried to make it semi-religious without being religious because it was more sacrilegious than anything, I think. But well, like we said, we're back, and I guess we'll try to hit the show ground running type of thing.
Sure.
But
yeah, let's go. Let's get right into it.
We're kind of out of practice, so bear with us. We'll start off feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you want to leave last month's show, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Prime1337 comments. Just started listening to your show after receiving my second recommendation for it. Both times were GameStop employees at different stores. Do you pay them, LOL? Anyway, really liked the show.
No, we don't pay them.
No,
You're implying that we have money.
We don't pay ourselves.
Yeah. It's a no money scenario here.
Yes,
it's
this
a
is
government run.
On a loss.
It is
every week we're paying for hosting, we're paying for this, we're paying for that, we're paying for servers. This is a loss leader, but
yes.
We don't have the thing we sell to make up for the loss leader.
Right.
Like, that's the part we're missing. But yeah, we do not pay GameStop employees, but it is good to know that two different random GameStop employees at two different stores recommended our show.
It surprises me too, because I always feel like a GameStop employee would skew younger. But you never know. Maybe it's like a 40-year-old manager with nothing left to live for.
Could be. That is our target demographic.
Yeah. We want the single 40 and making around $32,000 to $15,000 a year. That's the demographic.
Yeah. That's our sweet spot. That's why we rake in the big bucks. All right. But thank you for joining us, Prime 1337, and we're glad to have you aboard. Or Prime Leet, if you will. All right. Octavius comments. Every week without a show is painful. Please come back.
Done.
We're back. End of story. Done.
Did it.
Yep. You're welcome. And last but not least, the Vidler comments. I have now been forced to jump into your back catalog since your new episodes are basically non-existent. Those episodes are good, but I'd still like some new ones. Well, here's a new one.
It's weird when I hear people go back and listen to the show. I feel like that's a little strange. But we're a show based on things that are happening now. So, I mean, that's fine. That's impressive. But, yeah, like, why would you want to go back and hear about Halo 4? I don't know.
Or what's new that week?
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, I could see maybe something there. I don't know.
I don't know. That is weird.
But we're back now.
You're basically getting old gaming news
Right.
and releases them out for potentially 9 years.
Case, yeah, a really long time. But yes. Yeah.
Although maybe it's interesting, like maybe there's some game that's a huge blockbuster, and when it came out, we're like, this thing's going to be a piece of shit, steaming pile, but and then all of a sudden it sold like 10 million copies. Like maybe before PUBG came out, we said that.
Maybe.
Yeah. I would hope not.
I don't even think we did, because the thing with PUBG is it never released.
Yeah, because it was
we
it's
never
early
did a
access, so
show
it was never
about
covered. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you would, I will say this: if you would have asked me if I thought PUBG was going to be super popular, I would have immediately said no.
No, I would have too. If you described it like it is,
Right.
like a game where you could spend almost the entire game not seeing anyone and hiding,
Not shooting a single bullet.
yeah, it's shooter that you don't actually have to shoot anyone until maybe the very end.
Right.
And if you
Yeah,
play as
I'd
a
be like,
team,
that
you still
sounds
don't need to shoot
dumb.
anyone.
Yeah. And at that time, I think too, like Hit was the one that I give Hit all the credit here because he was on H1Z1.
He was
that-
experimenting. He didn't
Yeah, on all that
he didn't
stuff.
do the culling though. I did the culling. That was the first of these. Well, actually, it wasn't the first because
No,
there
yeah.
were Minecraft mods and mods.
The
for all these other
battleground
games.
style like games have been around for a while,
Yeah.
but like H1Z1 made it popular, and then PUBG made it ridiculous.
Yep.
But I never liked H1Z1. I owned the game. Still, I bought it because of Hit. He told me
Me
to
too.
buy it.
I own it too.
I hated it. Like
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
That
That's
one seemed to
surprising.
take way longer to find your weapons and everything else. Like
It
PUBG
did.
can be a while, but that one seemed way longer.
Well, I didn't like that you couldn't dictate where you could be dropped at. The
Yeah,
thing with
that too.
PUBG is just like you're like, I want to go to this place and I'm gonna farm this place. I love that's what totally broke the barrier for me.
Or everybody's going there, and I want to be where none of them are.
None of
'cause
them
there's
are,
gonna be
right.
like 40 guys.
I don't
there.
want to
Yeah.
die in 5 seconds, so I'm gonna go, farm over here in this tiny little place. I like that. That changed the whole thing for me. So yeah.
I enjoy it too. All right. Well, if any of you have more awesome feedback like these guys, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Joel Dudar Rock Albert, what have you been playing this month?
Well, this month, like a ton of PUBG. Like I haven't been into a game like that where I like played it super hardcore since Overwatch, right? Which is not that long ago, but I played it even more than Overwatch, I'd say.
Nice.
And it's great because it's the first game where I'm competitive, but I don't care. There's no real ladder with PUBG. There is, but you don't really care because it's not really like a skill-based game, right?
No,
so
It's part of its lock, part of its hiding.
yeah, lock hiding. There's RNG. There's skill when you shoot, but it's such a great mixed bag that keeps you wanting to go back every time and figure out what's a better thing I can do. What's a different strategy? Do we push like really hard in the beginning? Do we wait? Like what do we do? So
Did you ever play solo, or are you always playing groups?
I hate solo. I think it's a terrible game. I think solo.
Solo, 99% of the people lose.
Well, right.
Literally.
Yeah,
Yes,
literally. Yeah.
Precisely.
You have a 1% chance to win the game, right? Yep. And that's not what I don't like about it. But the playing with like Hit and playing with LB and playing with those guys, that's more enjoyable because it's funny. Yep. Like it's also a very funny game and crazy shit happens all the time in it because it's so unpredictable. So a lot of it is that, but I think you don't get that until you really play with a squad. I prefer duos. I like just having one other person, but the squads are fun too. Solo is just awful though. I don't have any desire to play solo ever. So.
And then what else?
And then I don't know. There's some other game that came out. It's called Destiny 2. I played that a lot. Basically, the last 4 days I've played Destiny.
Nice.
Not because I want to, but because I have to.
It's a job.
It's a job. When it first comes out, it's a job. I took off Friday to go to a barbecue, but then came home and played from Friday until Sunday morning at 3 a.m. and stopped. I have 2 characters at 278 light.
Not bad.
And I'm ready to go. What about you?
Well, prior to last week, I was playing a lot of Quake Champions. I was playing a lot of Lawbreakers and a lot of PUBG. Like, even mix of all three. And they're all 3 very different games, so it's nice. Plus, they're all PC, and I actually get to leverage my fucking 4K. Some of them I get like 120 frames a second at 4K, which is insane with all my
really
sliders all the way.
Now, how much do you get on PUBG? Because it's so unoptimized and totally shit. Like, what do you
PUBG is my lowest of the bunch. So
Yeah.
PUBG, usually I can get somewhere around 60 frames a second at 4K, which is not bad considering
it's pretty good.
It's a slop code. But
PUBG is such a weird game because you are supposed to play it at the lowest settings possible. So it's weird in that sense. You do not want the game to look good. If the game looks good, that means you can't see everybody and they can all see you.
Yep.
So you have to turn the foliage down, turn the shadows down, turn it all to 0, and then it looks like a N64
like
game.
we're in the 90s, yes.
Yeah. But it plays phenomenally. You'll get like a ton of FPS off it. Yeah.
But Quake Champions, super fast.
Yeah, you having fun
super
with that?
fun. It's so fast. It reminds me of Quake 3 Arena, but kind of that blended with Overwatch, which is nice because you have different champions with different moves and all this other shit, and then it's got the Overwatch thing of loot boxes that give you like different look. Like I rock with this guy right now that has this big fucking LED billboard behind his head that's like fucking I fucked you up and shit on. Like it's pretty cool. Like there's weird shit in that game, but it's fun. And then obviously starting last week, fucking Destiny 2. And so played that Wednesday night. Thursday we were off at the Patriots game all night, so missed that. Played Friday night, a little bit Saturday, a little bit Sunday, but I'm up at 255 maybe. So
Yeah, they just announced that the rate is 260, 280. So surprisingly low.
Yep.
But good for everybody that casualed out because then you don't have to really worry about doing the raid on Wednesday. So yeah.
So by Wednesday we'll still be fine. It's whether our entire crew is there or not is the question. But if not, there's always the next week. The first week is always a brutal week to raid. The whole week. Yeah,
you get the whole week. You do it on the weekend, do it on Sunday, do it on Monday next week. Still have the time.
Monday. We have a show on Monday.
Yeah, but after the show.
Oh, okay.
Pussy.
Bust out a brand new raid on the Monday after a show at like 10 o'clock. Oh, see, for you, it's an hour earlier. For us,
that's right. Yeah.
For us, it's starting really late.
We start our raids at 9, so like it's literally the time I'd be starting the raid.
So we usually start at 8 or 8:30. So yeah. But that's about it. All right. Well, I guess on that, why don't we hop on over into the new releases? They're all multi-platform releases, so I'm not going to say a multi-platform release. They're all going to be multi-platform this week. So the first new release out this week is Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. This is the third game in Bethesda's popular Dishonored series. This time around, the story focuses on a quest to kill the Outsider, which is this supernatural guy that gives out magic powers to people. Fuck him. Lots of player criticisms from Dishonored 2 have been addressed in this game, including no longer needing elixirs, and the removal of the chaos system, which was kind of a real... It made the game more of a grind than it had to be in the previous games. The game will wrap up the overall storyline that started in Dishonored and Dishonored 2, so this is kind of the end of that storyline. So if they decide to do more of these games, it'll be a brand new storyline. There's no review scores out for this yet, which is usually the case on Tuesdays or Monday nights because the games come out on Tuesday. But if it's anything like the past two games, it should probably get in the high 8s or low 9s, and I'm sure it's going to do well. People love those games. Not my style.
No, not mine either. It's weird with Dishonored. I literally did not. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I felt like Dishonored 2 came out like a year ago.
Like less than a year ago. I was thinking the same thing when I saw this on the radar. Like I was like, how is this already coming out? But
I don't even remember hearing about this.
No.
Man, I must be way out of the loop.
Maybe it's because we all missed E3 this year.
Yeah, maybe. It's weird the things that you don't realize when you miss an E3 because there's so much going on. But Dishonored's a popular game. I'm just surprised like the media coverage hasn't been larger because I still would see, every day I look at games. So
I'll tell you, when I saw this on the release list and it was called Death of the Outsider, it's like, oh, it's a fucking expansion.
That's what I thought.
I'm not even going to cover this. And I read it and I was like, holy shit, this is the third Dishonored game. Like
that's weird.
We can't miss E3s anymore, guys. But
it's all right.
Well, next new release out this week is Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, the 360, the PS3, and the PC. Yeah, let's keep going last gen Pro Evolution Soccer. This is Konami's annual non-FIFA soccer game. As expected, it's received the usual graphical bump that these games seem to get every year. They've also completely redone the UI and the presentation this year to make it more compelling, or so they say. There's no early review scores out for this one yet either, but these games usually do pretty well with surprising scores in the 8s. So I'm not sure how, because FIFA's kind of the...
Right? That's like the de facto.
Yeah, it's the God mode one, so I'm not sure how this does well, but...
Interesting. I mean, like I said, this is like sports week, apparently.
This is when we drop all the 18s. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, right now, for me, this is a snooze fest of games. But I mean, if you're into sports right now, this is probably the most exciting week of your life, right?
Yeah.
So this is
this is like if Halo and Call of Duty and Destiny
right all the same week
all came out the same day. Yes. Speaking of that, all right, next new release out this week is NBA Live 18. This is out for the Xbox One and the PS4. This is the 22nd game in EA's NBA Live series of basketball games. This year, it's taken even more cues from the Madden series. Now includes also an Ultimate Team mode, as well as a single-player career campaign mode called The One, because people seem to like those when they're not playing online against people, just to have their character and play through a story and watch him grow up through the sports ranks. It also marks another milestone, as it is the first game to feature the full WNBA roster. Now, you cannot play the WNBA teams against the NBA teams, but you could play two WNBA teams against each other in case you're one of those many WNBA fans out there. There's probably some, Jay. You can't make that face. There's probably some WNBA fans. Graphically, it looks maybe one. Graphically looks fantastic, but it's been years since we've seen an NBA Live game score higher than a 6. So maybe the WNBA stuff is pandering to women to try to get a score higher than 6, but I don't know. This is definitely the shittiest. Like, if you're going to go an NBA game, you're going to go NBA Live, not NBA Live. You're going to go, what's the NBA 2K?
2K.
Yes, you're going to go 2K, not NBA Live. So
yeah. I don't know.
Not for me. No, zero fucks.
Dude, I mean, I feel like having a conversation after any of these is completely pointless for everyone involved. No one here is buying this game. I know there are people buying this game. It's just not us.
I feel like it's some of our podcast audience is probably buying the game. That's where we have enough people that we would probably have the percentage. But of the people watching on Twitch right now, 0%. Of the people that are going to watch on YouTube, maybe 5 to 10%, if that. But
generous.
The podcast audience, I'm going to guess 30%.
Wow.
Well, because there's plenty of like these frat boy types that love the podcast. They play at their frat parties. Like, I know Tiff doesn't believe this. That's why she's losing her shit right now.
I don't believe. I'm with
I've had
Tiff.
comments saying that this plays at frat parties, but I don't even understand that because this seems like the worst entertainment at a frat party.
This is a great thing to play at a frat party when you don't want to get laid that night.
Yeah, when there's no women there. If it's just a guys only frat party, this is a cool thing. But I
think that's called a circle jerk, in case anyone's wondering. I don't think that's a frat party, but that's fair.
Well, in a frat house. But I will say, as the host of the show, I don't think that this show should be played at frat parties with women. 1, because we're raunchy, and 2, because it's not going to help you.
Because it's lame.
Yeah. It's
do
cool.
That.
This is a much more thing that you want to listen to, like maybe in your car ride, or if you are in college and you want to find a private place, when you go take a shit, just throw in the headphones and listen to us.
This is a private listen by yourself show.
Yeah. This is like, it's almost like you are in a room with us and we're just having a private conversation telling you the new releases of the week. We're going to tell you the gaming news stories, and other people don't need to know. This is a conversation.
This is us time. It's
one-on-one. Special time. Don't share it with a friend.
Or 1-on-4.
Yeah, exactly. But don't share it with a bunch of girls. Like, you want them to think you're attractive. And this isn't to say that this might not play in sororities, but I feel like that's a 0% chance.
That's a 0% chance.
Okay, yeah.
There is more of a chance of a sorority playing NBA Live for the WNBA 2v2 scenario than this show.
Okay, I'm just trying to be equal opportunity, so I'm not just pandering to guys, because I know our audience does have women. So,
all right, fair.
And we have women on the show, so that's how we're.
Yes, Hit is on the show.
All right, Tiff's only got one. Jay's picking on Hit, and on that we'll move on to the last new release of the week, which is NHL 18, and it's out for the Xbox One and the PS4. This is, oh my god, the 27th game in EA's wildly popular NHL series. As expected, it looks amazing. Sorry, guys, I'm a little sick. So, as expected, it looks amazingly realistic, and a few new features have been added this year. It's got a new 3v3 game mode, kind of reminiscent of Blades of Steel, if you will. And also now the mascots are playable in the game, which seems more like the opposite of something you'd want in a hockey game. In addition to the NHL, teams from the Swedish League, the Austrian League, the European Championship Hockey League are also available. Like 3 leagues that no one gives a fuck about. Like the NHL is real hockey. These are ghetto hockey. This is also the first hockey game to feature Las Vegas's new NHL team, the Vegas Golden Knights, who I didn't even know were a fucking team until this
They
game
are.
came out.
I have a friend that has season tickets.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's right.
Get it on the ground floor.
He did.
That prevents the, like my New England Patriots tickets. Well, like when I signed up for that waiting list, it was 10 years. So I guess if you get on the ground floor and your team's new, eventually they won't suck and you'll already have awesome seats.
That's the goal. It's an investment. It's not. He doesn't even like the team or care about Las Vegas. He just knows that if he can get in now, and he's got 4. No, he lives in Chicago.
So he just sells all the tickets off.
No, he'll go. He gets the season tickets, right? And his plan is basically, I'm going to go to 5 or 6 games maybe. Because the thing is, flights to Vegas are super, super cheap. So it's actually not that bad to like go see a game for a weekend and come back. You spend like $100 getting there, and
for Chicago they're super cheap because you guys hub. See, from Boston, our Vegas tickets are still like $300 a ticket.
Oh wow, it's like $90, $80 to go to Vegas.
Yeah,
so it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, because you're having a hub airport makes it really nice in the middle of the country. But yeah, but there's no review scores out for this anyway. But these guys always score. Like there's a certain percentage of the population. You could be like, this NHL game was written in BASIC, in DOS 5, and the people will still buy it. Yep, because they're just going to buy it anyway. So
Taxi, I think Taxi has every version of these. Our buddy Taxi, he plays. If you're a hockey player or a guy that played hockey or just love hockey, you de facto buy the game. It shows up on your doorstep. You don't even pay the money. For some reason, it just shows up, and then that's it. It's like a subscription, except there isn't one. Mentally.
Except you're paying every year. Yes, your subscription is $60 a year. Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I used to play the shit out of this with Taxi back in the 360 days, and he'd kick my ass, but I enjoyed it. And actually, to be honest with you, like I've always been a Patriots fan and a Red Sox fan and a Celtics fan, but hockey players, like I was a Bruins fan just being from Boston, but I didn't know any players. And then in college, I was playing NHL, whatever, with guys in college, and that's when I learned the names of all these hockey players. So like I can be watching team like, oh, that's Yager. Yeah, Jaromir Yager. Yeah, I know him. Like I don't know any of these guys. I know him from a fucking video game, but I feel like I can talk to it. So helps out. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? And it is a slow summer news week. Well, I say slow, but these stories are still pretty decent. So, Tiff, what's going on?
Not much. I was just about to die after you went through all those sports games.
I know. Now you get to talk about
sports.
Now you get to yay sports ball. Go.
Yay sports ball.
Team.
Shoot the hoop with the goalie on the sidelines. What?
Get some points. Yeah.
So now we have real news stories. So.
Real news. All right.
All right. First story.
The first Destiny 2 expansion will reintroduce players to Osiris, and this comes from Joystick X and Gadget. If you've already finished Destiny 2's campaign and are grinding through the endgame, here's some news you might be interested in. The first expansion for developer Bungie's shared world shooter is dubbed Curse of Osiris, named for the infamous multiplayer mode from its prequel. This time around, it's a campaign expansion according to Polygon, and it takes place on Mercury, where you'll journey through time and space to learn Osiris's, a legendary warlock, secrets and reunite him with Ikora Rey. The warlock vanguard who gives you class-specific gear. Good old Ikora. It also contains some new maps for the adversarial Crucible mode and new adventures, such as ambient challenges and activities, in addition to, you guessed it, shiny loot. No release date is set currently, but the rumor is sometime in December. So, what do you guys think about this? Expansion already coming?
This is good and bad.
Because you guys are all ready for this, right?
There's a word that's missing in the list of stuff that's coming. That makes
What's that? What do you mean? Oh, there will be no raid. So Garrett, so this is what's going to make or break the game, right? Is that everyone wants raids, no one really cares about much else other than that. And so what we're seeing, I'm hoping at least, is that December's good because that means only a few months are going to pass and you're going to have new content. Whether it's content we like is probably debatable. It's just like, the speeder bike bullshit that I absolutely loathed. But for someone out there, they're going to like this content. The goal I think they need is to hit that sweet 3-month mark, 2-month mark for new content. Whether it's
keep pumping,
they gotta get their shit together. And I know the engine was the real problem last time, and the amount of time it took to build those assets. I'm hoping that they've learned from this, and they're able to build these things at a much quicker clip. Because most people that we know consume Destiny at a far greater speed than probably the average gamer. But it leaves a lot of downtime in the game. So December is a pretty good release date to keep things flowing until the raid, which is probably 6 months away.
That's going to be the second expansion. Yeah.
Yes, usually 6 months. I would bet money on it at this point that you won't see a new raid for at least 6 months. But it's a good clip. I'm hoping that they can keep to this and keep releasing new content. But it's at least pushing things in the right direction. Like, as long as it's decent content where you can get new light, that's all I really care about, because it just means the new raid is down.
You're just progressing. You feel like there's some reason why they're giving you more light. I see it both ways. Like, I see like Hit saying in chat that the Dark Blow raid came out 3 months after in December, but they had been working on Destiny forever before that.
Right. They had that raid, or a version of that raid.
Yes. They just had to tweak it and fix it to match the actual story that they changed to telling. Here, this was brand new that they started whipping out after Destiny was out, and they were still developing content for Destiny. So it wasn't easy to have 2 raids like one in the bag, just ready to drop whenever. Like, they're creating this from scratch, after the fact. So,
which, if you think about it, is a pretty decent amount of time, because they basically had shouldn't say 2 years, but maybe 2-3 years, let's call it, to build Destiny 2, where they had like 6 to 10 years to build Destiny 1. And really, I find that's the reason why everyone's calling Destiny 2 an expansion, because really Destiny 2 is an expansion. It's not really a part 2. There's not enough core change in the game for me to ever label a game like Destiny 2 as a sequel. Most of the game, when you play Destiny 2, you're like, oh, I'm playing Destiny 1. Nothing about it feels like a new game, at least not to me.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It should have been released as an expansion. When I look at expansions from other games,
yes,
any other game, and Derek will know too because he played WoW, I would expect something like Destiny 2 in a $30 expansion pack that I bought for Warcraft. In fact, there's more in Warcraft because I get new classes, I get everything.
Skill tree,
whole new skill trees. Yeah, completely redesigned from the ground up. Totally new environments. So this is an expansion pack, and the hope is that they're building on this quickly.
Yeah. Instead, we paid $100 to basically lose all our shit and start over.
That's the weird thing. Like, in an expansion with WoW, you don't have to lose all your shit. It all is one cohesive universe, and you pay less money for it. But somehow Destiny's managed to sell the product to consumers, and they like it. I think the real thing that's going to be interesting, especially with this December deadline and stuff, is how that plays out for the PC crowd, because the PC crowd is used to really fast content, huge amounts of content for low value or very small value or money. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The console people don't have that luxury. We are the most nickel and dimed out of the
because
three,
we don't. Well, I say we, but it's they really.
It's they
because you and I know.
I mostly pay.
They don't know
PC.
better.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Is
they don't know better. Right.
They're used to this. They're used to getting fucked and being like, "Oh, thanks, my ass hurts, but thank you for that." Yes.
Yeah,
But
DLC never existed on the PC until the console did it, and they were like,
That's
"Holy
true.
shit, we can make money!" And now
Team
we're seeing
Fortress, the original Team Fortress mod, maps came out every day. And you're like, oh, 2 Fort, this is the best fucking thing ever. And it was fucking free. And I'm going to play this for the next year. Oh, and then someone did a modified version of 2 Fort. I'm going to play the shit out of that. Oh my God. Like, everything was free. It wasn't until consoles. It wasn't until Halo 2 when Bungie was like, oh, we got the first map packs coming out. 3 new maps. And like, Xbox had to come up with a way to be able to sell you. Like, there wasn't even a feature in Xbox Live to sell you an add-on
Right.
for the game. They came up with it to start nickel and diming us,
Yeah.
and now it's the status quo on consoles. But
So it'll be interesting not only the December release, but what the price tag of that December release is. Because my whole thing is, if it's a live content release like we saw on Destiny 1, it should be free. If it's a raid, then I don't mind spending the $30 for it because that's the thing that I play. So if it's the thing that I play and it's coming out, I don't mind spending the money.
I'll buy raids day after day.
Yeah, but it will feel awkward for this December release to pay money for a campaign expansion. Like, I don't see any monetary value.
Did you not buy the $100 version of the game?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I refuse to give the money to them because there were multiple times in Destiny 1 that I quit for 3-4 months. When the Crota raid came out, I thought it was a horrible piece of content. I quit. And then from that point forward, I was like, I'm not going to give them money until I see it get closer to the content and decide for myself whether it's worth me putting the money in. So, no. And I guess we'll just wait and see what happens in December. It could suck, which means then I'm going to go play PUBG. And that's the great thing right now.
Now
is
we
that
have
there
so
are
many other games to play.
Yeah, play Overwatch, play PUBG. I could play the new Call of Duty, and not that I would because I
You could
thought
pick
the
up
beta
Quake
sucked.
Champions for $30.
But I could.
You can pick up Lawbreakers for $30, Quake Champions for $60.
And you kind of hit the nail on the head too. Right now, the PC side of things is totally crushing it. Like, I played the new Call of Duty. I thought it was horrible. I would never spend money on that game. Played it and just instantly hated it. But other than that, there's nothing on the console that I'm super stoked for. Now, there are like 5 games right now that I can play on the PC and be totally happy with. And for less money. So,
less money, and they play in fucking 4K, a million frames a second,
144 frames per second. You know, it's just a totally different universe over there right now. So if Destiny doesn't do what it should do and do it well, there's no reason for a gamer to stick around. Now, if you're a console gamer only, you have no other choices, then maybe you stick around and you play and you wait for the next raid. But for me,
but then again, those console gamers are gonna have PUBG soon enough.
True, $30 game.
And it's a steal at $30.
It's a fucking steal. Really is. Truly a steal. Yeah, so we'll see. I feel like we could talk about, there's so much more to talk about on Destiny. And it really could be its own show. I almost wish we had more time, but
maybe we'll start a new Destiny podcast.
You know, we'll see what happens in December.
All right. And we'll cover this again next week because I'm sure we'll have more to say. All right, Tiff, next story.
Battlegrounds has surpassed 1 million concurrent players on Steam, and this comes from Gamasutra. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has become the second game in history to pull in over 1 million concurrent players on Steam. The popular Last Man Standing Battle Royale title hit the milestone Friday when exactly 1,028,540 players logged in to test their wits against each other. The all-time record still belongs to Dota 2, with Valve's ever-present MOBA racking up 1.29 million concurrent players in March of 2016. It's unclear how long that record will stand, however, as Battlegrounds evidently has momentum on its side. Just 2 weeks ago, the game finally eclipsed Dota 2 to become the most played game on Steam, and its popularity only continues to increase. The game recently surpassed 10 million sales, despite being an early access title that launched less than 6 months ago.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-month-old game, which, okay, for early access, the game is shitty, right? There's like a lot of problems with it. It's totally buggy. Mm-hmm. It's just that it has somehow captured something so new in a genre that has been so stale for so long that you are able to look past all of the bad. And there's a lot. There's a ton wrong with the game.
20 things.
And even if you talk to, there's a couple of interviews that have come out with their lead designer and their CEO, and they are insanely aware of how bad the game is. Like they don't speak about it as if they've made this amazing game and they're going to rest on their laurels and they're proud of it. They hate it. They're like, there are things that they're just like, we were not prepared. We're like, they're trying to make it an esports game now too. And they even said like, we're going to do it because the fans are flipping shit, but like, we don't think it should be an esports game. Not right now. We think it will be, but there's just so much to do. And for a game that's 6 months old, when you compare it to games that are 6 years old before they even get released, it is so above and beyond in terms of the thought that has gone into making the game that it's really just so impressive. I mean, 1 million concurrent users and on a rising, insane. Yeah, on a PC, which is nuts. Console
Which
that's
is
doable.
Your smallest install base of all platforms.
Right.
And the only game that's beating it has been out for Dota 2's been out like 7 years.
I don't know, a long time, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
over 5 for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. So, and to sell 10 million in sales is nuts for a game that only costs $30. So these other games are selling for $60. So that's really $20 million in sales if you really think about it. Because if it was a full price game, so you're paying half price, they're doing 10 million in sales. It's getting over 1 million concurrent users, which is nuts. This will certainly the fuck beat Dota shortly. Like,
what really I think sells it for me is that I have people now, friends of mine, that have either bought a PC or building a PC or had a PC and now are getting back into it just to play this game. It's one thing to do that on a console, have a game that comes out that pushes a console sale for a $500 piece of equipment. To have a $30 game push a PC sale that is $2,000, $3,000 to buy a PC to run the game is bananas, right?
That's your killer app.
That's the killer app. And so it's not any surprise that Microsoft has gotten in bed with them. And the idea that Microsoft is going to be able to push things forward in the console is really big for them as a studio for Bluehole. So it really, like if you getting on the ground floor of this game, it's great because every week, and I got to give it to the developers, they patch something. They put new weapons in. We're going to get 2 new maps soon. And it's no small feat to build these maps. They are huge. Essentially 8 square miles, north to south, east to west. They take months and months to build, and they're going at such a great clip. It's shocking what a tiny team can do versus a AAA title, I guess, is really the
when you don't have all that bureaucracy overhead.
Right, you're just building.
We all beat Destiny. We all watch the end credits. Like, that's like Marvel movie length credits of departments and like their studio, and then all these like one-off studios they brought in to do certain things, and whether it's cinematics or whatever, those credits are long.
It's long, right? There's like 500, 600 people that are working on the game, and Bluehole I think is now going to be up to 100. I think by the end of the year, which is good. I think the key for them really is going to be this sustainability. The funniest thing I saw this week was PUBG had announced that they had 100 or 1 million concurrent users. When Destiny launched, they put out a tweet that said we have 1.2 million concurrent users. I think that was definitely, partially at least, a slap in the face.
Shots fired.
The difference is that is on launch on a console where you have not even proven that those concurrent users are going to go up. You're only proving that on launch day, a game that is highly anticipated did 1.2.
Yep.
The difference is PUBG started at 100,000 and in 6 months went to 1 million. Up. No down.
It's insane. Yeah.
Up. So to me, you put all those things together, and they really do have lightning in a bottle right now. And if anyone likes PC or wants to try it, I totally suggest everyone give it a shot. It will suck you in. Guaranteed, it will suck you in.
Especially if you're a person that sucks at shooters, like, which I definitely do not say I do. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty decent fucking. I can hold my own, but for people that don't, like, I see these people on my face. Look at these assholes. Like, you guys can't see them in chat, but they're like laughing. But I have these people in my Facebook feed that I know are not the best of shooter players, and they're loving PUBG because they can play their own strategy that involves hiding or waiting for opportune moments, being kind of like like a. I don't know what you call it, like a viper that just waits.
Snake in the grass. That's what we call. That's what everyone calls them, snakes. Yeah. Like when you get to the last final circle, the whole thing is how many snakes are in the grass. Like what are we looking for?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, if Hit and I play duos, we'll sometimes go straight in. We'll try to just see if we can get a lot of gear quickly and start shooting. Or once we get tired of that method of play, we'll try a whole new strategy where maybe we hang out in the water area for a while and just see how things go. So there's so much replayability just within the context of the game that doesn't rely on things like new maps and new weapons and things so much. Those things are good, but strategy alone, you'll spend so much time on that you'll get sucked into just how do I get closer to the end, and you don't have to worry too much about shooting. Yep. Shooting will eventually become
you have to shoot. Yes,
right, but it doesn't. It's not the core mechanic of the game, and that's the selling point.
You can find a bathroom somewhere, close the door, get in the tub, and just wait there until like either the circle moves or you know, it's the end of the game and you can just go in and guns blazing. So.
Yeah. I mean, how many games hit? We walk into a place, all the doors are closed. We're like, it's totally safe. I go up into a bathroom. Dude opens the door. He's sitting on the fucking toilet with a shotgun and shoots me.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That many hit. 500 times? Yeah. 500.
It's the move. And it's a good strategy.
And it's a strat.
And that guy was probably there the entire game.
For 40 minutes.
Maybe his first fucking kill.
It's true. That's true.
So that's what makes it fun. It makes it different. It's not
different.
Like I'm a run and gun shooter guy. Like I like a gun, run into the fray, shoot, die, get back in, shoot. So it's it's like a break from my norm. And
that's what's so impressive about it is both of us I like to rack up kills. That's like why I play games. Yep. And for a game that I am thinking now, like, I don't know if I want to engage that guy right now. That's weird for me, but it plays with your head so much that you start to wonder, like, is he a better shot than I am? He could be good, so I don't want to start shooting unless I know that I'm going to win this fight.
It's going to be a
because it's one life. Yep. So it's like you got to know you're going to win, and it's good in that way. It's good. Yeah.
Good on those guys. I'm super happy for them, and I really hope it does well on Xbox. I really do. Because I think that's a great partnership that Microsoft was very forward looking and
smart
secure. Like you talk about console exclusives, this is like
huge for them.
Yeah, this is
their Halo. Like I don't even know if they realize it, but if things continue the way they are, and it's a Sony's out of the exclusivity for now, I think it will push console sales. I really do.
Oh,
so, and they haven't had a game like this since Halo, really. Maybe Minecraft in some small form. But this is, I think, a big deal for them. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Tiffy, next story.
Blizzard is opening its own esports arena in LA next month, and this comes from PC Games. Blizzard has announced it will open its own esports arena in Los Angeles next month. Hopefully dubbed Blizzard Arena, the cutting-edge live event destination is situated at Burbank Studios and is designed for pro players, esports fans, and everyone else who loves premier competition. The venue has been designed especially for live esports, with a variety of sound stages, control rooms, and practice facilities for high-level competition and broadcasting. In addition to all the esports stuff, there will also be a Blizzard retail store. The first event and grand opening takes place on the weekend of October 7th, focusing on the Overwatch Contender Season 1 playoffs. Then, from October 13, the Hearthstone Championship Tour Summer Championship will take over the premises, with Heroes of the Storm and World of Warcraft events to follow. We're at a tipping point for esports, and we look forward to helping usher a new era of competition-based entertainment, Blizzard CEO Mike Morhaime said in a statement. As we open the doors of Blizzard Arena Los Angeles and welcome fans from around the world, we're honored to bring the best in Blizzard esports to the same stage that some of the biggest names in entertainment have called home. So what do you guys think about this? You ready to take off to LA? Go hang out at the Blizzard Arena?
Does this feel like a bad idea?
Yeah, Blizzard is like, they're so high on Overwatch right now. They're like, we need to have an arena.
I think it's too soon.
It is way too soon.
Right?
Overwatch is it's gonna see its decline. It's already seen its decline. Like I look at my Xbox Live friends list where it was like almost everybody playing Overwatch, and now it is 90% Destiny 2 and not even 10% Overwatch, like 5% Overwatch, and the other people are on these other offshoot games.
Yeah, like I feel like, and I'm not saying that they got lucky because I think everyone knows I played insane amounts of Overwatch. I had 3 accounts on multiple systems. Yeah. So I'm not saying, well, I should say this. Coming from a guy like me who was so invested in it, I don't even have any desire to play it anymore. And it's not because it's a bad game. It's just because there are now other games.
Yeah.
And so it seems weird to build a stadium over something that is as finicky as gaming is. Like games don't generally last. Even PUBG, I've been, gushing over it all day today. It doesn't necessarily mean that in a year from now that they're going to be the thing that I want to keep playing. So to build an arena, you've got to have some serious balls. I know they have the money. I just feel like
you don't want to waste that money. That's like, and I feel like part of this, this crazy self-love comes from the fact that they created the Overwatch League, and all these, like, Robert Kraft of the Patriots paid $10 million for a team, and all these other guys did. Like, it's such hubris that you're giving.
Yes,
you're like,
it feels that way.
Yeah, it's like, all these guys want teams in this league. We're going to create our own stadium, and we will do Overwatch. And you know what? When Overwatch is not happening, we'll do Heroes of the Storm and fucking card games and this, and maybe we'll throw a little World of Warcraft in because everybody loves Blizzard. Well, maybe everybody does love Blizzard, but did they love Blizzard as much as it cost you to studio in, where was it in California? It's somewhere in Hollywood, Burbank Studios. Yeah, like you can't sustain a studio on Blizzard's properties. I'm sorry.
I don't think so either. I feel like what's going to end up. So the problem that I see right now is there's all this investment money in it. So in a way, Blizzard has to build this stadium because these teams have spent all this money. And part of that, I'm sure that money is going into building the stadium without question.
It has to. Yeah.
Right. And so if that's the case, though, they're spending all this money and they're saying basically pro players are going to play Overwatch because now there's money involved, real money involved. That's true, too, but that still doesn't mean they have the one ingredient that matters the most, and that's people that want to watch it. Yeah. So, I mean, you could have pro players that are making $140,000 a year or even more, but that doesn't really matter if only 4 people are going to watch the stream.
I loved Overwatch. I don't like watching Overwatch. It doesn't have the same spectator mode stuff that games that are built for esports have. Like, it's just... It's cool to watch somebody good play from their perspective, but in a esports situation where you're going to be switching views and showing all these angles, like they don't have even the stuff built in the game to like bust out and show you an overhead of where everything's happening and tag all the players and then come down and zoom in on someone in particular. Like they're missing those esports features, but they've made an esports game, or they think they have. And now they're investing in the esports league. They've invested in this giant esports arena. Usually I'm the one to like,
Blizzard
on the ass and be like,
absolutely.
Nice job, Blizzard. Boom. There's an ass smack for you. But I feel like, like I said, it's hubris. Like I feel like they think that they're unstoppable gods, and that's how Icarus flies too close to the sun, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Well, and my worry is, so I want them to succeed. All of us should want that to succeed. And the problem is that if they fail, if a company like Blizzard of their size fails at this, that's going to scare off anyone from doing anything like this in the future. And that to me is the really sad part about this, if they don't succeed. Because I want there to be leagues and I want there to be stadiums. And I think it would be awesome to get to this level that you have in places like Korea and other areas where people live to watch these games. I want that in America, but I just don't know that this is the right time. There's probably more people that are interested in watching CSGO at this moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said the right time, or even it's the right game. I don't think it's the right game. Overwatch doesn't have that spectator thing. Like there were some games that came and went that were made for esports that had much better esports modes that would have been better suited for this. Like Overwatch, it's someone is in the back control room deciding who you're going to watch, and they're just taking everybody's feed of their actual first-person view, and, you'll watch this guy, you'll watch this guy. But that's not how you're supposed to do this game. It's absolutely not. So until, and maybe this is going in conjunction with Blizzard building in some esports features in the game, because that's really what it needs to be able to survive as an esports game.
See, I think that'll be I think that's a guarantee. I think the esports features are certainly going to be there. They wouldn't be building the arena. But to your point, I think the problem is just that whether or not people want to fucking watch Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch came out at a time where, and again, I want to be fair to Blizzard because it's an amazing game. I love Overwatch, but it did have the advantage of coming out when there were not a lot of other games to play. Oh, yeah. It was like you played Overwatch. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else, but there really wasn't.
It was different. There was that one game from, I want to say Bethesda, that had like the 87 different characters, and it was more like a tower defense game. Anybody remember this game? It started with a B.
Oh, you mean the Gearbox game?
Oh, it was Gearbox. It was
Battle something. Yes, came out at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
Battleborn.
Yeah, those two were supposed to be the same, but Battleborn was entirely different. And people were like, that thing's shitty. Like Overwatch, yeah, let's rock that.
But that was it. There's zero competition.
Yeah, it came out during that lull, and it captured a huge audience, and it like I played the shit out. It's a great game, but I don't know if it's an esports game. Like I'd still much rather watch Halo 2 than Overwatch, I think.
Well, Halo 2 has got the advantage of being easy to follow. I mean, when you have 80,000 supers going off every 15 seconds, it's not easy to like track who's winning and who's losing in a game like that.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. I want them to succeed. I really, really do. I just don't know that.
I do,
like,
especially after spending that much money.
Are playing PUBG now, and it's only been a few months, so it's kind of scary. We'll see. Good luck though.
Yeah, time will tell. All right, next story.
We have this week's What the Fuck story. Destiny 2 director defends the new shader system, and this comes from DualShockers. The first Destiny 2 shaders were basically their own individual items that you could equip and unequip at any time, with rarity and all. Destiny 2 has changed that. While shaders are still their own individual items, they can only be applied to one item at a time, and once they're used, they're taken out of your inventory, so you'll have to go find them again. This has caused many returning players to beg the question, why? Destiny 2's director Luke Smith took to Twitter to address the concern among the community. Shaders are earned through gameplay, leveling, chests, engrams, vendors. We expect you'll be flushed with shaders as you continue to play. When you reach level 20, shaders will drop more often. Vendor rewards, destination play, and endgame activities. Shaders are now an ongoing reward for playing. Customization will inspire gameplay. Each planet has unique armor and shader rewards. With D2, we want statements like, I want to run the raid, trials, or go back to Titan to get more of its shader to be possible.
Oh my god. Luke Smith is so fucking insane.
What the hell?
There is no point where I'm like, hey guys, you wanna run the raid, do trials, or hey, let's just go get some shaders from Titan. Like, no one's gonna fucking say that, Luke Smith. You are like delusional.
I have problems with this. Okay, so I actually, well, he is insane. So I think what hurt them the most is him speaking. I think
yes, whenever he talks, he says something so stupid that they have to run spin control for him.
Because okay, I'll say this: I really don't mind the new shader system. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't
either.
It means
because I never use shaders.
I use shaders, but I use shaders once every 5 months and then didn't care about them. Right?
I get a shader. My guy black, all black, the
black and white.
Possible.
Those were the two that I used. Now, that doesn't mean that people don't like shaders, and that doesn't mean that I'm, the majority. But at the same time, I think they were getting to this point where they're looking for. So I don't think they're trying to connect it to the Eververse as much as people like to believe. I mean, I understand the connection between them, and I see that you can get shaders from the Eververse, and so therefore people equate that with money. That's a very Activision thing to do, so that doesn't surprise me. But at the same time, I don't think that's their intent. I actually think the intent is to create replayability. The problem with what Luke's comment is saying is that I don't think anyone looks at shaders as replayability. I don't think they ever wanted it. No one asked for it. So again, it doesn't really bother me. The response bothers me.
It's the stupidity of the response. It's like I'll go back to again. Literally, no one is ever going to say, you want to run the raid or do trials or go farm shaders on Titan. That's never a statement that will ever come out of anyone's mouth ever. Like people will be like, hey, you want to run trials? You want to do the raid? No one is ever like, if you're going to farm fucking shaders, like if you're the guy that needs shaders, that's a secret you're going to keep to yourself.
Yeah, you don't tell your friends.
It's like jerking off to clown porn. You're not going to do it in front of your friends. It's a secret. You're like, no, this is my thing. It's my own thing. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm going to go get some shaders on Titan. You're not going to do it with your friends. You're never going to mention that you did it with your friends. You're even going to appear offline when you're getting your shaders on Titan. It's not a thing that's going to happen. You're going to run the raid. You're going to do trials, but you're not going to farm shaders. And Luke Smith is fucking nuts.
Well, the problem too is currently it's so inconsistent of how you get these shaders.
Oh,
so if I want the rose gold shader, I'm making this up.
I mean, iPhone shaders.
Where does it drop? Like, what is the drop item level? Like, what? How do I get the shader at this point? So if you're a shader farmer,
so many shares, you don't even know where they came from.
Exactly.
You can't even reverse engineer. Like, I have to go farm. This.
If you're this mythical shader farmer, this person, that's why they play the game. So if you're a shader farmer, any farmer in any MMO is they go to the place that drops the thing and they do the thing until it drops. So I don't know right now how to get the shader I want, even if I wanted that shader. So there isn't anything in the game that guides you as a player to farm these shaders. And so it's so inconsistent that the system breaks down. Like, at least his idea of the system breaks down.
His idea where people are farming shaders. Like, believe me, I fucking farmed cats in World of Warcraft. I had all the cats. I had the white cats, the tabby cats, the black cats, the special one-off cats. I had a million cats, and I could sell cats like they were going out of style. That was my thing. And I farmed fucking cats, and I knew where they dropped. No one knows where these shaders drop. And actually, to be honest with you, no one cares. Like, what's the difference between dark gray, light gray, and black? Like, no one cares.
No,
like,
and that's the thing is like there's so many variants now of shaders. I mean, if anyone's playing right now, they'll look in there. I have 1,000 shaders probably already.
Easy, yes.
I don't know. It's just a giant page.
And how many of you applied?
One to my ship because it was yellow.
That's the one I applied. I made mine red and white.
I was like, oh, Bumblebee, that's a cool color. Push the button. I'm done with shaders. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Tap
that
out.
was it.
Boom.
Bam, done. And that's the other problem. There are so many shaders, so many, that you get this pamphlet of shaders when you go into your UI. I don't want to take the time to preview 45 shaders. I don't want to do it. So I just don't.
And some you have like 20 or 30 of. Like, you're like, oh, I have a lot of those. I could do all of my stuff in that, but I would have to go look at it first. And what if I don't like it?
And then I have to apply it to each
thing individually.
I'm like, okay, kick a button, go back, go do inspect, find it in the thing, click the button, do it again, click the button, do it again. And the problem too is it creates the psychological issue of I only have 3 of these shaders. So do I really want to put it on this item because it's going to be gone?
My whole thing.
So I just won't do it.
Go away when you have to infuse into something else. Yeah.
Right. So there's no sense of urgency to use the shader. In fact, you're worried to use the shader, so you just don't do it. You end up doing nothing.
We all have thousands of fucking shaders because no one wants to use them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this would have been less of an issue if you sharded something or infused it and you got the shader back.
Well, that's what everyone's saying is give the option of taking the shader back. But if they do that, then there's no reason to
lose your Eververse.
Right. There's no income. There's no resource. Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Do I think it's a problem? No, I really don't. But that's because I don't care. But the response makes me look at them and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
Like Luke's. Like, this reminds me of like in Destiny 1 when Luke Smith was talking about the. It was something about, buying stuff. Oh, it was when they decided that they were not going to charge for the last expansion, but they were going to sell stuff in the store that would get you the emotes and everything else. And people are like, why would you want to do that? He's like, if you want all the emotes, you're going to buy it. Everybody's going to buy it. Everyone's going to put in their money. Luke Smith is absolutely fucking nuts.
He's kind of crazy.
Someone has to reel him in over there. He's
amazing at making raids. That's what he does best. Like, he is amazing. He is the driving force behind the raids in Destiny.
But he's out of touch with gamers.
But when it comes to gamers, he loses a little bit of focus. Yeah. I don't know, Derek. What do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we move over to the mailbag and voicemails? Altius asks, with the runaway success of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on PC, how do you think the game will do once it makes its appearance on Xbox One? Are console shooter players ready for this new style of game?
No. This is a great question. Yeah. It's a great question.
It is definitely like these people have probably heard of the game and they're like, oh, everybody's playing it. I got to get it. But it's not like any shooter you've ever played.
I don't think console gamers are going to. So the problem is in the UI, and we'll see how they solve this. But currently, the best way to play PUBG when it comes to looting is tab swiping, right? So there's a bunch of stuff on the ground. You hit your tab button on your keyboard, and then you quickly with your mouse swipe everything over that you need really fast. And because the action of the game happens based on the people that get the gear quickest, there is a substantial advantage to the people that are fast with a mouse and can get the stuff in their inventory loaded, locked, cocked, and ready to shoot. That feverish pitch that is inherent in looting in PUBG, I'm not sure how that's going to translate into the console, and I think that's going to put the fun of PUBG at risk because so much of it relies on that. So for instance, 2 months ago, they released a patch where they wanted to slow down the looting. They're like, some people loot too quickly and we want to slow it down. They released the patch, and in 2 days, the internet went completely batshit crazy, and they were like boycotting the game. They were like, we're going to uninstall, and they switched it. It took 3 days from the time they pushed the patch out to revert the patch because so many gamers were so pissed. I'm being one of them. And that was only a 1 second delay that they put up. 1 second. But that was enough to change the gameplay so much that people didn't want to play the game anymore. So I think the hard part for them is going to be able to solve that looting issue. But then on top of that, just the gameplay itself.
Yeah, you
people
have the
are
other thing
not
where
used to this.
People are used to run and gun shooters and not hide and wait shooters. And between the two of them together, it's an entirely different game. And I think the only thing it has going for it is that it has a fucking million concurrent users, 10 million sales, and people know that people like the game. So maybe they're willing to give it a shot to see, hey, why does everybody like this? But it's definitely not their Halo. It's not their Call of Duty. It's not their Destiny. It's not any shooter you've ever played. It's a much more you can't use the words like laid back or relaxing because it's not.
Because it's not.
You're
the
stressed
most
the whole time.
Stressful shooter you will ever play.
But it's also the least shooting you'll ever do in a shooter. So I don't even know what the right word is for that. But it's an entirely different kind of shooter.
And because the other thing I find that's a little scary with it going to console is that the game relies on precision shooting to the point of, so everyone knows PC gamers do not have hit detection. They have hit detection.
No aim assist.
They don't have aim assist. Yeah. So console gamers have the luxury of thinking they're good at video games when 90% of it is that the game plays itself for you. There's a giant crutch that's hidden behind the scenes called aim assist that will guide your bullet to a head even if you're a shit shot. It's required on console gaming, and I understand that because it's so hard to use an FPS on a controller.
It's like playing with a car tire. Like if you have to move a car tire to shoot stuff. Yeah.
It's rough. And so that translation, the reason PUBG is so awesome is the gunplay is so good because it requires you to literally hit the shot. It's not fake. And there is bullet speed, bullet drop, wind velocity, power, all of those things per gun come into play.
And then it comes into per pixel with your hitbox.
Yeah. And so the question really is, when you add aim assist to all that, does that then take the game that has all this variance and just sort of dilute it down to, did the hit detection work and did my aim assist get me the kill? That's the problem that I see on the console. Now, it might be fun for people, but I like knowing that I judge the distance, the speed at which the guy was running, how far my bullet's going to travel, the drop. When I get a hit off of that, that's me getting the hit. Yep. And that's so rewarding when you see the knockdown.
Like, I did maths.
Yeah, you're like, it's 800 meters west. He's moving 20 meters from the south. The wind is blue. And you get the shot. And it's exhilarating. I don't think you're going to have that same exhilaration, or especially during one-on-one gun battles, or you're really not going to know who is the better shot. That, to me, is going to be the biggest
Maybe console will come down to closer quarter stuff.
It very well. It probably will.
If they don't implement aim assist and stuff.
They will. They have to.
No, but they actually don't have to. Like, if they don't, then you kind of change PUBG into a closer quarters game, which it's not a bad thing
without aim assist.
And you haven't, but these guys are not coming from the console world. This is their first dip into this. Like, we saw the aim assist stuff with Destiny 2 on PC during the beta, where people were taking the Zim, dropping it. Because if you plug a controller into Destiny 2 on PC, you get aim assist. So what people are doing is they're dropping the Zim in there and then putting their keyboard and mouse in their Zim, and now they're getting aim assist and they're using keyboard and mouse, and those guys were wrecking. Absolutely
destroying with just pistols.
Yeah. So
you took the highest damage weapon with the most amount of distance and they wrecked. Just wrecked. Yeah.
Yes. So
they did this in Overwatch, by the way.
Oh yeah, Overwatch has the same.
A lot of people don't maybe not remember this, but they added aim assist for controllers on console. It got so bad that they had to delete it from the game, and it only took 2 months to do so.
Yep.
Because again, PC gamers are sorry to say it, on another level when it comes to FPS, and not because they're inherently better at the game, although I do think they are. But they have the tools. Yeah,
you have literally a device in your hand that you can put anywhere you want. Unlike a console where like I want to go over there, I have to hold this until I get over there. It's an entirely different thing. Yeah, I can flip my mouse and do a 180 instantly and fucking pop someone with a headshot. Or if I want to spin around on an Xbox, I hold my controller over, my player turns around, and then I take my shot. It's an entirely different rate of speed.
So it will be. I'm super interested. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be the game where Microsoft finally releases mouse and keyboard support for the Xbox One. And if that happens, then
it's a whole
then like I feel bad for all console gamers because you're going to get fucking shit on. Like you're going to get destroyed. And so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. It's a very good question. And I'm hoping it does well because it's such a good game. But I think there's a lot of things that they're going to have to.
There's a lot of gray areas we don't know about yet. But yeah, just between what you said with the UI and the looting and stuff and what, just the entire different type of gameplay people are used to, it's going to be a whole new ball game.
Tough challenge. Yep. Good luck, Bluehole.
All right. Well, if any of you have awesome questions like Altius, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread in the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors, we told them to fuck themselves tonight, so we're looking for sponsors. You know what? We don't even care how much you want. You want to spend $20 to sponsor us? Doesn't matter. You want to spend $1,000? We'll take that too. So if you want to sponsor us, you want your name at the top of the show, you want us to read, you can give me copy and I will fucking read your copy here. It can be up to like 2 minutes of copy. So if you want to sponsor us, 773-527-2961, podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tool-to-play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the fucking internet, got everything that's fucking holy at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
Twitter.com/duderock.
Twitter.com/electrify.
Twitter.com/i6hitman.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/duderock.
Facebook.com/Tip Nolan.
Facebook.
One word.
.com/i6hitman.
I'm here with the robots. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. That's where we put all of our archive video content, whether it's episodes of this show, whether it's live game footage, whether it's Hits Quick Hits that's promised to come back multiple times and never has because Hit is super unreliable except as a podcast producer. Whether it's Tiff's immature interviews. Yes, immature interviews. Whether it's Thick and Thin with LB and Duty featuring I6 Hitman. I said featuring because he was the best part of the show. Whatever it is, all of our archive video content goes to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. So go there, subscribe. You'll be notified whenever we have new video content. Please rate and review the podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews, and we need some nice comments. And you know what? This week we actually have a review, and normally we only cover our 5-star reviews, but this week we're going to cover a 3-star review. And this one is from Brigantine, and it says, I like this podcast. I've been following these guys for years over multiple iterations of the show. So that's Tools Type Radio. It's what the fuck were we called second? We were called
I don't remember.
Gaming Under the Influence.
Oh, Gaming Under the Influence, and then Still Got Game. It's still funny, informative. Okay, that's not even a whole sentence. It's still funny. I'm going to add an and informative. You may ask why I like the show and I'm only giving it 3 stars. The show has taken such a pro Xbox stance, overlooking it is now impossible. No matter the lack of exclusive or compelling games, these guys are all on board with Microsoft. The show may have always been this way, and I just didn't notice because I was an Xbox gamer. I still recommend the show, even with the extreme Xbox bias. If they changed it to an Xbox PC show with a short other console section, then it would be more honest. Well, you know what? I feel like that's what we're at. Like, everybody here has a PS4, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's not that we have a bias. We have this console. It's just the shittiest of the 3.
Yes.
And
That's the thing is, we speak opinions here. It's an opinion show. It's not based on fact. It's only based on what we like to play and who we play with. And keep in mind, gamers are a group of people, and as I'm sure this person is, who play with their friends. And so if everyone was on the PS4 and there was a game that all of us played,
then we'd
you'd
all be on the
hearing
PS4.
us talking about the PS4. That doesn't exist currently with this group of friends, nor does it exist for the friends outside of this group that we're all friends with. And so 9 times out of 10, you're going to get an Xbox-related discussion. But even still, I will say this. We talk about games, and we talk about game releases. And when a game gets released, we speak about that game. There is never a Xbox section or a game that we play that is Xbox focused. It's what was released that week, and then we talk about it, and what are we playing. So it's weird to even hear that as a comment because I mostly play PC. 9 times out of 10, if you talk to me, I'm on a PC. I'm not on an Xbox. So already 50% of the show has a strong bias, and I will say I have a bias towards PC.
I'm 75-25 on console, Xbox to PC. Now, granted, I think maybe your problem with the PlayStation 4 is the crazy PS4 exclusives that people play are usually not multiplayer games. Yeah, they're all. I'll play God of War. I'll play Uncharted. Now, granted, Uncharted eventually added a multiplayer mode, but that was like a tack on. Like these are not multiplayer games that you play with your friends. It is a great place for single player exclusives that look great. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm playing with my friends, I'm on the Xbox or I'm on PC. It's just how it is. And it's mostly Xbox for me because my douchey friends here never want to play with me on PC. Like, I'm like, hey, who wants to play PUBG? And they're like, oh, sorry, I'm offline. But I'm like, I see you playing PUBG.
You're offline. You're offline immediately. Me and Hit are doing duos. It's not a 3-person thing here.
I want a triples. I want triples playlist, you assholes. But I will play.
And to be fair, too, you named those games. I own them and played all of them. Like so I played Uncharted. I loved it. I played Horizon. I loved it.
The Uncharted
series. The fact is, and by the way, if you go back into our repertoire and you hear me talk about Horizon, I will recommend the game to be purchased.
You are coming all over yourself.
Amazing. It is graphically superior than almost any other console game at that time that had come out. Plenty of good things to say about the PlayStation. Plenty of them. Just far more on the Xbox. And whether that you agree with that or not, that's totally fine. But I will always say it's just an opinion. Yeah. We like games here. If a game hits the PS4 and it's amazeballs, you're going to hear us talk about that game because that's what we do. We play video games. Yep. I don't care about Microsoft. I don't care about Sony. I think Sony's a little shady. I will say that. But by and large, I want to play a game. And it's got to be a good game. Doesn't matter where it is. Probably on PC.
I'm console agnostic. Got them all, so you put it out and we'll get it. But
by the way, I own a Switch too.
Oh, that I don't even consider that a console. That's like a handheld. Yeah. But Jay's got that, and Hit's got that. So, Brigantine. One of the beauties of iTunes is you can always go in and change your star rating on your review. So hopefully,
because now you know it's a 5-star. You thought it was a 3.
You thought it was a 3, and now you know it's actually a 5. You know you erred. So
you're welcome.
And to err is human, but to fix it in iTunes is divine.
It is divine.
Yes. All right. We also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tool2play. That is where we fucking go live every week. And we do games. And we all have our own Twitch channels that all get pushed up to the twitch.tv/tool2play channel. Or we broadcast games there. We do the show live. Whatever we do, it goes to twitch.tv/tool2play. And that fucking site has 2 buttons. One says follow. It's somewhere down here. And or up here. I don't even know. The follow button is actually down low. And now I'm looking. So if you follow us there, you'll be notified whenever we go live. It'll pop up on your phone, pop up on everything else. You'll know that we're broadcasting live. But there's another button. It's at the top right of the video window. It's called subscribe. And that is how you help us out. Now, you'd think, like, are these guys worth $5 a month for this fucking bullshit Still Got Game show that sometimes during the summer they can't even get out an episode a week? Well, maybe we're not during the summer. But you know what? Are you a Twitch Prime subscriber? Amazon Prime subscriber? You do Amazon Prime? Well, now you're Twitch Prime. You get it absolutely free. Once a month, you can pick any one channel on Twitch and subscribe absolutely free. But you have to redo it every month. But if you go up there and click subscribe, you can subscribe with your Twitch Prime, and it costs you nothing, and it gives us $5 a month. Boom. You help us out, helps you out. Just remember to come back next month, and it costs you nothing. So please, follow us and then subscribe. Like, you obviously are here for a reason. You love our show. So follow if you must, subscribe if you can, I guess is the only way to say it. And if you're a Twitch Prime subscriber, you have no excuse not to subscribe. So go there, subscribe for free, come back every month, and renew it. And I guess before we wrap up the show, we want to remind you that each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/toolsplay. And on that, why don't we wrap this fucking awesome welcome back episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
I am Tiffany Electrify Nolan.
I am Roger Hitman Roken.
We are console and platform agnostic.
But Xbox is better.
And then the Switch.
Yeah. No, PC, Xbox, Switch. Then PlayStation.
Then PlayStation. Yeah.